and welcome everybody to another episode of Ladies with Tradies, working the trade, living the life. Very excited today to have the beautiful Shani with us, one of our exquisite business coaches here at Ladies with Tradies. Good to have you, Shani.
Thanks, Kate. It's fun to be here. My first ever podcast.
Oh, look out, star
I
of
feel
the show.
like I've made it.
You've made it. You've made it. So good. All right. So I guess my kind of view on the amazing Shani is she's got this really incredible calming but and nurturing, but also assertive way about her in the way that she works with her clients, which is super effective. She gets very fast results with clients that she works with, which is super impressive. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to digging out some of what makes her tick as far as her coaching goes. So, Shans, tell us a bit about you. Where are you from? Your background, all that.
So, born and bred in BrisVegas. So I grew up here with mum and dad and my two younger brothers. Um, about halfway through high school, mum and dad separated, and mum wanted a sea change, so she moved to Adelaide, and I followed her down there. Spent 14 years living in Adelaide, and then it was like I got homesick overnight. So I wanted to come back to Brisbane. So I was very lucky. I met my partner, Pat, in Adelaide. We'd been together for about 2 weeks, and I said I wanted to move back to Brisbane. And then he said, okay, let's go. So we did that. And we've been back in Brisbane for maybe 7 years now, I think. We've had two beautiful little girls, Penelope, who's 5, and Ellie, who is 3. And yeah, that's pretty much the background on me. What else do you want to know?
Yeah, tell me a bit about like your working history, like what sort of brought you to before working with us.
Yeah, so working history, I've always from as soon as I started working, really, I've worked within trade, and it's always funnily been in husband and wife dynamic. So I've never worked for big corporate sort of builders or anything like that. It's always been a hubby and wife duo. I've dabbled in some other things, fitness and medical, working for surgeons and things like that. But I always found myself coming back to the trade. And I don't know, like my dad's a chippy, my brothers are chippies. Maybe that's got something to do with it. It's almost in my blood to just work in the trade somewhere. So um, yeah, that's pretty much what I've done working wise, career wise. But yeah, always landed back with the tradies.
Yeah, so good. And we were very lucky to have Shani when she was in one of those tradie businesses as a client. So she was, tell us a bit about that, I guess, Shani, without me telling the story that's probably inaccurate. You give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, so I was working for a Sparky at the time, and I'd been with him for 3 or 4 years at that stage. Unfortunately, he went through a bit of a big change personally. Him and his wife separated, which obviously his attention then turned to more personal matters, and the business somewhat fell by the wayside, and yeah, hit rock bottom, I would say. So I supported him through that separation and trying to keep the business afloat. But eventually it got to a point where I said to him, we need some external help here. We need to get a business coach. And at that point, I had no bloody idea what a business coach even did. I thought it just sounded like what we needed to do. So I made some inquiries, and I reached out to a few different coaches actually, and had, some complimentary sessions or strategy sessions with a couple of coaches. And I was very lucky to land with Teresa, our other beautiful coach. So initially, my first conversations with T, I just felt so at ease and comfortable. It was like talking to a friend. And I just thought, for myself and my boss at the time, this was the kind of working relationship we needed, something that wasn't really clinical and, white collar kind of stuff. We wanted someone who was real, who had lived and breathed it and really understood us as a business and where we were at. So I think that was, the real difference in business coaches from what I had seen was that Ladies with Tradies brought such a personal approach to business coaching. It wasn't as yucky as, you might think it might be. So yeah, that was my experience with coaching prior. And obviously it was so phenomenal. We absolutely loved it. I was like, how do I do this as a job?
And yeah, so that led you to a conversation, didn't it?
Yeah, so I then spent probably, I don't know, another 6 months, 12 months or so um, getting that business back on its feet, which we did really, really well and really easily with T's support, which was great. But then I found sort of once I got us to that point, I became a little bit like, okay, well, what's my next challenge? Where do I go from here? So I left there and I went and did a very short stint with a builder. um, and through doing that, I kind of realized I just really love this part of the business, like trying to find solutions to, what tradies have is a whole mess of problems and issues. And tradies don't get taught how to run a business, they get taught how to be a tradie. So I found that part of my roles really fulfilling in being able to go in and identify problems, but also bring solutions to the table. So once I kind of had that light bulb moment of, I love doing this so much, I actually reached out to T and I was like, T, I'm like, how did you get into being a business coach? I'm really intrigued. And she said, Shani, we've got a job going. And I was like, oh my God, it was almost like fate. I was like, what are the chances of me reaching out 12 months later and you just happen to be recruiting at that time? So, yeah, that was really exciting for me. And obviously had further conversations with T and then, yeah, went through that recruitment process with you guys.
Yeah,
And
and
here
the
I am.
yeah, and here we are. And I remember very clearly that time having a chat with you, and T had been obviously a very big advocate for you after coaching you in the business that you were supporting. And it is, I do agree, like fate does play a big part. And obviously your skill set really you came so well equipped, Shani, with all that experience of working in the trade industry as well. So it was awesome, and all just divine timing. It was very lucky for us to have you join the team. So that gave us a bit of your path, I suppose, to becoming a coach. And I think that the cool thing I love about this, it's not uncommon for us to recruit people who are tradie wives, or Shani was like the faux wife, I suppose, in the business she was in, supporting the Sparky. It's pretty exciting to see people grow into different people during that experience, and we were really, I think we were just like blessed to have you go, oh, I think I like this. So tell us about your coaching. What's your favorite thing about the process of coaching? You've touched a little bit on it, but give us some insight into what's so great about it for you.
I think as someone who is such a big advocate for people's happiness and wanting to see people really live a fulfilling life, it was that's what drew me to this, is that rather than just helping one business being within the business, I could help multiple businesses do that. So I think my favorite thing is being able to take on a client who, when they initially come to me, is so down in the dumps and often, weighing up or considering, am I best to just shut up shop and go and work for someone else? Or, how can I turn this around? So the confidence that I see grow within the tradies is just the most rewarding thing for me is being able to see where they begin and what they start with to, 3, 6, 12 months into the journey. They're like completely different people, and they're just like phenomenal results as well that comes with coaching. But I think more on that deeper level, them as human beings and seeing what they're capable of when they have the right support and push around them, is probably my most favorite thing, is just, yeah, that gain in confidence again within themselves and finding that spark in their life. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it is because it's not, sometimes the spark you find is outside of the business for a start for them, like getting them connecting back to who they are as people, but then that kind of reignites them in their business as well. So yeah, you're right, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of the time they're so consumed by business that they forget that they're also a human being and they have other needs outside of just slaving away at their job. So reconnecting them with that person prior to that business is
Mm,
always nice as well.
huge. I love it. So what would you say are your favorite subjects or favorite elements of business that you enjoy coaching?
Oh, I love so many of them. But probably if I had to pick one or two, I love team and culture. I absolutely love coaching around that area, because if you don't have a good team, you don't have a good business, really. And everyone knows people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. So if you don't have that great culture within the team, it makes it really hard to run a successful business.
Mm.
Um, so I love coaching on team culture and getting everyone um, up and about and actually enjoying their job and loving coming to work, and that's all around that culture that we provide. I think I also love numbers.
Mm.
Being such a heavily results driven person, naturally, I love seeing results and I love seeing them in the form of profit. So, um,
Dollars in the bank.
yeah. So I get motivated and driven when I start to see my clients making more and more money, and profits are turning over and revenues turning over, and everything's going, trending in the right direction for a change.
Mm.
Because quite often when clients come to us, Kate, they're trending backwards,
Mm.
and it's at that point that they go, shit, I need to do something here. So to see that turnaround in the figures really excites me, and I love that. So good financials paired with a really great team and culture is almost like magic when it comes to business.
Yeah, for sure. And you just have this way about you, Shani. We get feedback from the clients as directors. We give them a call and we're like, tell us about your coaching relationship. And the thing that always comes to the front with Shani is, it's like a firm but fair kind of theme where because I think you just command a presence, love. I think you hold a screen. I'd like to say a room, but we're not in rooms. You do command like this level of attention that I is really rare and really special, and it holds people, and you do feel 100% supported by you in an interaction, whether that's socially or professionally. So that's part of your magic. Is you just make people feel at ease, but also they want to do well when they're working with you. They're like, Shani's got me doing this and got me doing that. And I mean, I could rattle off a few of your clients, who just are captivated by the process, nothing short of. So, yeah, it's
Thanks.
very inspiring, very inspiring. So, tell us about, well, you've touched on a few, what you love seeing, but what's probably one of your or a couple of your proudest moments in coaching or stories that you could tell?
Oh, probably one that springs to mind is one of my builder clients. So they came to us relatively new, probably a couple of years into business. He reminds me so much of myself that he just wants to do all the things and he wants them done yesterday. And So he came to me with some big goals and aspirations of creating his own set of house plans to sort of build for himself, um, and also obviously increase revenue and profitability and all those sorts of things. So we've been working together for about 12 months now, and he's just released 9 new plans for himself. So he will now start to build his own homes that he has designed and slaved over for many hours. Um, on top of that, the last year he has tripled his revenue. So he's just gun ho, absolutely adore him. He is someone that's really taken this coaching journey and just applied everything that we've spoken about. So it really goes to show, what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
And he's just done phenomenally. And I mean, so many of my clients have got incredible stories, but that's probably a highlight at the moment because we've literally just got those plans go to air and, hit the community. So he's absolutely pumped about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really good.
And so what his business wasn't in that good a shape when he arrived though, was it? It was a bit like it was suffering, like you talked about the trending there. Like he could see the opportunity, but it wasn't sort of going in a healthy way.
Yeah, no, he wasn't very profitable at all. He didn't have a great team around him. He was dabbling in lots of different areas and not really sure where he sat in the market. So that past 12 months we've been working together, we've really been able to refine his spot in the market, what he's truly passionate about and wants to do. He's also created an incredible team that he loves and adores. His reputation now, in his community is unbelievable. Like the guy doesn't even have a business card, he's just like people just call him and word of mouth and they just love him. So it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and even just to see and hear his confidence grow over time. We'll be getting him on the podcast. He'll know who he is if he listens when he listens to this. So you'll be interviewing him in the near future, Shani, because we want to hear from him too.
Yes.
But you're right, it's super inspiring and yeah, and I think the thing too that I love about your coaching, you span all ages as far as your coaching capabilities go. You've got some of our builders that are nearing the end or getting closer to the end of their building careers and they're starting to think big picture future for themselves in a way that they hadn't even planned for, which you should be super proud of. Plus this fella who you're talking about here starting up in the last couple of years, like it's pretty cool to see the level of diversity in business that you just excel with. So
yeah, absolutely. And you're right. There is, I'm working with businesses that are just starting out, just fresh, and then I'm starting to do retirement plans for the others. So it's I'm seeing the businesses, from one end to the other, which is really cool.
yeah, how beautiful. So we've talked a bit about your background and what got you here, but and your experience. You've talked through about how that felt as a client, and you articulated it so beautifully. I think we need to get our marketing manager to just get that soundbite, will you, Andrea? Because that was perfect. What do you do outside of work for fun? Like tell us a bit about you personally and what you do for fun.
Personally, gym is life for me. So my alarm goes off at 4:20 a.m. every day and I get up and I go to the gym. That is just my non-negotiable for myself. So whether I want to or not, I go and I know that I'm going to feel a hell of a lot better at the end of it for going. So I just absolutely love the gym. Absolutely love it. So that is my one thing I will never miss out on. Aside from that, I live a pretty humble lifestyle. Like we go to the farmers markets every Sunday, like as a family, and have brekkie on the beach. beach, and we see family and friends and those sorts of things, potter around the garden, just normal everyday stuff. But yeah, the fitness stuff for me, that's probably my constant, something that I'm always working on to be better and achieve more, and lots of other personal and professional development in that as well, I think. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. The payoffs in any form of training, from a consistency, persistence, determination, all of that, it all can apply straight back into work, because how you show up for one thing is usually how you show up for all things. So that's a pretty
Yeah.
it's a pretty awesome trait. So what would you love people to know about you as their prospective coach? What can people expect?
People could probably expect that they're not going to get away with excuses with me. So I think one of my strengths as a coach is that I really do hold you accountable for your actions, what you do and don't do. So if you're trying to tell me a story or an excuse as to why you didn't, I'll call you out on that. I will give you another shot at it, but yeah, I think I'm a very disciplined person, so I do try to instill that into my clients too, in learning that discipline is going to get you far if you just keep showing up every day, one foot in front of the other. Geez, I'm sounding like a bit of a, I don't know here. So not as bad as it sounds, guys. But yeah, I think yeah, I don't know, being that results driven individual too, I'm really striving for success, but it's all the little stuff that comes with that, like getting text messages from my clients or emails or screenshots of all their little wins along the days and weeks, like just instills and proves that what I'm doing is working, and they love it and I love it, and it just truly lights me up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And it is that accountability, but I think it's that deep respect and understanding that people can expect from you, with the kick up the ass at the same time when they need it. And I just, that's it. That's what I'm saying. There's this presence about you that makes people want to do well. And that's a really special trait. So hashtag Shani for your coach. So tell us, what would you say to people about, like, who are thinking about taking on coaching? Like, you've been coaching a while now. I'm sure your clients have said things to you like, oh my God, I remember what I thought before I started, or like, what would you say about people thinking about taking a coach on?
Look, I've had many comments and compliments over the time, but I think the biggest thing is, like, you will never regret taking a chance on it. If anything, you're going to regret not taking a chance on it, and that's what I've said to my clients. But um, you know, my clients have now somewhat become friends, and I had a message last night from one of my clients that said, you have become our biggest ally. We absolutely love you. We hope that we don't lose you. Like, we're going to come over to Brisbane next year. I want to come and visit you. So, it just shows that, like I said earlier, business coaching is sometimes not what you expect it to be or what you think it's going to be. So don't come into it or have these preconceived ideas of what you think business coaching is, because it's quite often so much more, or not even anything like what you expected it to be. So I guess just have a crack at it. You 100% will not regret it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting so many shivers through this interview here. So, I mean, you've already dished out some great advice there, but what's a great quote or piece of advice, the best piece of advice you've ever had that you could share with people?
Oh, I have a couple.
Mm.
I think business wise, I love the quote, the magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Um, so it's, and again, like applicable to all aspects of life. I find when I'm working with clients, and I even had this morning on a coaching call, I was met with lots of excuses, and it's just purely avoidance. They're just avoiding because it's almost like they know once they actually do it and they dig into it, that's where the magic happens. That's where you see the results. So I absolutely love that quote.
Oh, mate.
Um, I also love you can't add days to your life, but you can add life to your days. And that is more on a personal level. And what I try and remind these tradies of is you don't want to work 7 days a week. And Kate, you probably have a really good grip on this, from your career as a palliative care nurse. You see the end of life.
Yeah.
And there's so much regret, like missing out on all sorts of things. So I think if you can take the days that you do have and add life back into them, it's just beautiful. Like we're not here to be workhorses 7 days a week, stressed out of our mind. We've got to live a little too.
Goodness, mate. Yes, the mic drop moments in this, so there just aplenty. I'm loving it. Anything else? Anything else you want to impart on the listeners about, your journey or how you coach or coaching overall?
Mm. Oh, nothing specifically. I think I've yapped on about a fair bit today, but yeah, just give it a crack, guys. Honestly, like I've never had a client say, Shani, I'm leaving you because I regret doing this. I've
Yep.
never had a client leave me without making their business 10 times better than how I found it. So yeah, give it a go. Give it a
Love
go.
it. So good, so good. Oh, Shani, what a pleasure. You are an absolute delight and a true professional in what you do. And yeah, we're so blessed and privileged to have you on the team. And I know after listening to this and you interviewing your clients moving forward, people are just going to be lining up. So it's been lovely to be able to showcase you as the coach and as the human being. And yeah, just thanks so much for everything that you offered to us as a business and also to our clients and our community. You're a bloody gem and we love you.
Thanks, Kate. Love ya.
See you guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.